As I said today, before we start with the Gemara Masechet Shavuot, I want to discuss with you Perashat Beha'alotekha. Perashat Beha'alotekha has two of the most enigmatic pesukim in the entire Torah. What do I mean? If you look at the Torah, you open a Sefer Torah, you have white parchment, on top of which you have black letters. You don't have any vowels, no tenuot. You don't have any ta'amim, only otiyot. Exception, a very small number of places you have black dots above the letter, but that's very unusual. In this parasha, you have something even more unusual. You have two pesukim, before which you have a bracket, after which you have a bracket. It's not really a bracket. It's a nun. It's a letter nun, but it's nun hafucha. It's an upside down letter nun. So you have these two pesukim. First you have an upside down letter nun. Then the two pesukim in, you have another upside down letter nun. What are these nuns? What are these brackets? Doesn't happen any other place in the Torah, only here. Let me read to you the pesukim, or recite the pesukim. Vayhi bin soa ha'aron vayomer Moshe kuma Adonai veyafusu oyevecha veyalusu mesanecha mitpanecha. That's the first pasuk. The second pasuk, umnucho yomar shuba Adonai ribevot alfei Israel. First pasuk, Vahi ben soa ha'aron, before that you have a bracket. Second pasuk, at the end, ribevot alfei Israel, you have a bracket. What does the pasuk mean, first of all? Pasuk number one, Vahi ben soa ha'aron. The Jewish people are in the Midbar. They're by Har Sinai. They didn't go into the Midbar to stay in the Midbar. They went into the Midbar to receive the Torah. Once they received the Torah, they were by Har Sinai close to a year, less than a year. They are now ready to take the journey to Eretz Yisrael. How many days is this journey? Does anybody know? The pasuk says, "Ahad asar yom mechoreb derech haseir ad kadesh barnea." 11 days. 11 days. In 11 days, they're going to be in Eretz Yisrael. Now, they're traveling through the desert. There's going to be enemies. They're going to say, well, what are you doing? We're going to Eretz Yisrael. You're going to Eretz Yisrael? You're not going to Eretz Yisrael. We're going to stop you. And not only that, of course, there's many cities, many nations in Eretz Yisrael. What, they're going to let us just come in, say, Tfadalu bechavod, here are the keys to the houses, and make sure to water the garden once a week. They're going to come out and fight a war. Now, let me ask you a question. How are the Jewish people planning on fighting this war? What's the plan? Do they have a plan? It's in this pasuk. It's in this perashat. These two pesukim. Vahi bin soa ha'aron vayomer Moshe kuma Adonai veyafusu oyevecha veyanusu mesanecha mipanecha. The plan is as follows. Kuma. What is kuma? Moshe Rabbeinu is telling HaKadosh Baruch Hu, kuma. Kuma means to rise up. To rise up. Hashem, rise up. What does that mean? The Aron HaKodesh is the place of the Shekhinah. Moshe Rabbeinu is telling HaKadosh Baruch Hu, rise up. Kuma doesn't just mean to rise up. Rambam says, kuma is milashon lekayem, to fulfill, as in one who fulfills a promise. Moshe Rabbeinu was telling HaKadosh Baruch Hu, praying, please Hashem, kuma, fulfill your promise. What promise? HaKadosh Baruch Hu promised Abraham, Yitzhak v'Yaakov, lezaracha eten et haaretz hazot. I'm going to give the land of Israel. I'm going to give the land of Israel to the people of Israel. Moshe Rabbeinu says, kuma, this is the time to fulfill your promise. But we can't fight for Israel. We don't have an army. We don't have weapons. Am Yisrael, they were Misraim, they were Avadim hayu, they were slaves in Egypt. What do they know about warfare? They don't know how to fight a war. So Moshe Rabbeinu tells Hashem, listen, this is your war. He says, Ve'yafusu oyevecha, let the oyevim, these are your enemies. These are your enemies. You want to give Eretz Yisrael to Am Yisrael, these are your enemies. Ve'yafusu oyevecha, let the enemies scatter. Ve'yanusu mesanecha mipanecha. Let the haters, let them run away. Let them run away. So the Shekhinah is going to leave. The Shekhinah is going to leave. It's going to go confront the enemy. The enemy is going to run away. And tfadalu, bechavod, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to tell Am Yisrael, enter Eretz Yisrael. Israel is yours. Enter, that's it, it's yours. All the houses, all the orchards, all the vineyards, it's all yours. Just come in. So fight the war for us, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Kuma, fulfill your promise. What's the second pasuk? The second pasuk is deeper. In the second pasuk, Moshe Rabbeinu was saying as follows. We, Am Yisrael, have the Shekhinah within us. Within Am Yisrael, we have the Shekhinah. The Shekhinah is going to leave to fight the war against the enemies. Do you know that the Shekhinah is going to come back? Maybe we were worthy then, and now that the Shekhinah left, we're not worthy anymore. Ana halach dodecha yafa banashim. Ana panad dodecha maksheno imach. We say in Shir Hashirim, where did the Shekhinah go? We don't know. So Moshe Rabbeinu makes a second tefillah. Ubnucho yomah. When the Aron HaKodesh is nach. Ubnucho yomah. When the war is over. Ubnucho yomah. Shuba Adonai libevot alfei Yisrael. Please Hashem. Please return the Shekhinah to the multitudes of Am Yisrael. Please, the same way the Shekhinah left, when it's time, bring the Shekhinah back. That's the two Pesukim. That's the content of the Pesukim. What are the brackets? There's a Gemara in Masechet Shabbat, Daf Kof Tetvav Amud Bet, on the bottom of the page. It says, Tanu Banan. Vahi binsoa ha'aron. Perasha zo asala simaniyot. This perasha, Ezra HaSofer, Ubet Dino, they made special markings. Asala simaniyot, he made markings, right? Milemalan umilematan, he made a marking at the beginning, the upside down nun, and a marking at the end, the upside down nun. Why? Lomar lach she'en ze mekoma. To tell you this is not the right place. This Perashat does not belong here. Gemara never says where the Perashat belongs, by the way. It just says the Perashat doesn't belong here. Okay. Gemara continues. Rabbi, he disagrees a bit with the first opinion expressed in the Berachah. He agrees that this is not the place of the Perashat, but he says something even more dramatic. לא מן השם הוא זה, אין לנו מלאך. שזה ספר בפני עצמו. רבנו הקדוש says, this bracketed text, these two pesukim, this is not just that it's not its place, they're out of place. This is a separate book. It's a separate book. We have Chamisha Chumshei Torah. How many books do we have in the Chumash? 5, right? He says, no, this is a separate book. How many books do we have? We have 7 books. The Gemara then brings the pasuk, Shene'emar, Chochmot baneta betaha, Haseva amudeha shiv'ah. It says there's 7 pillars. There's 7 pillars. What are these 7 pillars? This is the 7, not the 5 books, the 7 books of the Chumash. What are the 7 books? Pereshit, Shemot, Vayikra. First part of Bemidbar, up to the brackets. Second part of Bemidbar, the bracketed text, so super good that I just read to you. Third part of Bemidbar, and the book of Devarim. These are the 7 books of the Chumash. What does this mean? So look at the first book of Bemidbar. You have here something phenomenal. The first part of Bemidbar describes what from the point of view of Am Yisrael is utopia. There is no greater point than this utopia. Why do I say that? Bnei Israel received the Torah. Moshe Rabbeinu came down from Har Sinai. We had some difficulties, no question. We passed it. We passed it. The Shevatim are organized. Each Shevet has a place in the Machaneh. The Machaneh is Kadosh, it's holy. In the middle of the Machaneh, you have the Mishkan. Around the Mishkan, you have the Leviim on three sides. In the front of the Mishkan, you have Moshe Rabbeinu. You have Aharon HaKohen. In the middle of the Mishkan, you have the Aron HaKodesh, the Ark of the Covenant. Inside the Aron HaKodesh, you have the Luchot HaBerit, Ketuvot Be'esba Elohim. You have the tablets of the Ten Commandments written Be'esba Elohim. Tremendous Kedusha. Such Kedusha that the Shekhinah was in the middle of Am Yisrael. There was fire at night that people saw. There was Amud Esh Balayla, Amud Anan in the daytime. There was no greater state than this. It was such a great state. There's a pasuk in Divrei Hayamim. Let me see if I can find it here. There's a pasuk in Divrei Hayamim, Divrei Hayamim Aleph, Perek Bet. It brings the genealogy of Yaakov Avinu. Then it goes to Yehuda, the son of Yaakov. Then it goes to Zerach, the son of Yehuda. The pasuk says like this: Uvnei Zerach Zimri. Zerach had several sons. Zimri, one of them. Etan, Heman, Chalkol, and then the fifth son, Vadara. Dara. Strange name. So the Midrash Rabbah on Vayikra, Perashat Shemini, it goes into these names. And it says, what are these names? So each name it analyzes. It gets to the name Dara. Dalid, Resh, Ayin. He says this is actually an acronym. It's a contraction of two words. Dor, De'ah. This was a generation of wisdom. Well, why was it a generation of wisdom? Think of it. Am Yisrael just received the Torah. What are they doing in the desert all the time? What do they have to do? There's no work, there's no business, there's no problems with clothing. It says, your clothing were always fresh, the shoes were always new. There's no problems. So what are you doing all day? The Gemara in Masechet Eruvin says they would enter Ohel Moed and they would learn Torah from Moshe Rabbeinu. Can you imagine? The pasuk says about Moshe Rabbeinu, Pe el Pe ala berbo. Moshe Rabbeinu would speak directly with Hashem. Moshe Rabbeinu would speak directly with Bnei Yisrael. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? Learning Torah from Moshe Rabbeinu. This is what they did. This is a Dor De'ah. Because it was a generation that the entire purpose of this generation was to acquire the knowledge of the Torah. There was no other purpose. So what can possibly go wrong? So this first part of the Midbar is fantastic. You say, wow, okay, well, let's continue the story. What's the second part of the Midbar? I want to know. So we have the bracketed text. The second part of the Midbar is as follows. Am Yisrael should now enter Eretz Yisrael with Moshe Rabbeinu, with Aharon HaKohen, with Miriam HaNevi'ah. We're supposed to enter Eretz Yisrael. And how do we get Eretz Yisrael? Not like in the days of Yehoshua bin Nun, when there was wars, years and years and years of war. And even after Yehoshua there was more wars. And until we finally built the Bet HaMikdash, it was hundreds and hundreds of years, over 4 centuries. How were we supposed to enter? We're supposed to enter Eretz Yisrael. V'yanusu oyevecha, v'yanusu mesarecha mipanecha. You know, we say on Rosh Hashanah, we have the berachot, we have the ara that we eat, right? With the of the night of Rosh Hashanah, right? We have the sali. So we see v'karetu oyevenu, v'soneenu, v'chol mevaksher atenu. It's from this pasuk, by the way, right? V'yafusu oyevecha, that's oyevenu. V'yanusu mesarecha, that's soneenu. Some people say, v'yanusu, on the berachot they say, she'ikaretu oyevecha v'soneecha. Mamash like in the pasuk, others say, v'ikaretu oyevenu v'soneenu. The point is, we are supposed to enter Eretz Yisrael and really get Israel on a silver platter. The way we're supposed to run away in fear. We enter Israel. We build the Bet HaMikdash. The Shekhinah returns to us because of the second tefillah Moshe Rabbeinu, where he says, he says that when the wars are over, the Shekhinah returns to Bnei Israel. We're supposed to enter the Bet HaMikdash. And there in the Bet HaMikdash, you know who the Kohen Gadol is? Aharon HaKohen. Aharon is the Kohen Gadol. Moshe Rabbeinu is in the Bet HaMikdash. You have Am Yisrael enters the Bet HaMikdash like they were entering Ohel Moed to study Torah with Moshe Rabbeinu. Uba leSiyon Goel. What? Not even. There's no galuyot. There's no persecutions. There's no sarot. That's it. We're in Eretz Yisrael v'irkavticha al bamotei aretz. So we have book number 1, Dor De'ah. That's in the desert. This Dor De'ah is supposed to enter Eretz Yisrael. Get Eretz Yisrael on a silver platter. But what really happens is not book number 2. You see, book number 2 is there to tell us what was supposed to happen. You want to know what really happened? Go to part 3, book number 3 of Bamidbar. Vahi ha'am kemit'onenim Rab Abe Hashem. The people started to be mit'onenim. Book number 3, this third part of Bamidbar, describes utter catastrophe. And I'm telling you, the extent of this catastrophe needs to be understood. I want you to understand it. Vahi ha'am kemit'onenim. What does mit'onenim mean? Mit'onenim, lo alenu, is like a person who's onen. Onen is a person who, a relative passed away, and he has to bury him. He's onen. Terrible, terrible state. So you go to a person in the am, and you say, what's the thing? It's not, doesn't say vahi am mitonenim. They were not mitonenim. They were ke mitonenim. What does it mean ke mitonenim? One of the great Chachamim from Sefarad in the 15th century, Rabbeinu Shem Tov, Ibn Shem Tov. I was blessed, Baruch Hashem. Hashem had chesed on me, and I got a beautiful, beautiful Sefarim, beautiful books, old books. I'm not sure if this book was printed or not. It's Derashot, Rabbeinu Shem Tov, Ibn Shem Tov. He has beautiful Derashot. And he says, Ke mitonenim, like mitonenim, means like this. You go to a person, he says, everything okay? He says, it's okay, but there's some issues. What is it? It's just not good. It's just not good. So tell me what it is. What's wrong? You have a problem, say it. What's the issue? So you start, moaning and groaning. Things are terrible, but what's wrong exactly? Can you say it? Is there food? Do we have man? Yeah, we have man. Is there water? Yeah, there's water. Be'erash and Miriam, we have water. What problem with the sun? The sun is too hot. Maybe it's just too hot in the desert. What's it about? They're complaining. It's gratuitous complaints. You pretend like everything is terrible. There's nothing really wrong, but you wanna complain because there's a deeper reason for the complaint. You're going to see what that deeper reason is. And Hashem understands the deeper reason, and for this He punishes them. For this He punishes them. They're kemit olinim. It's terrible, not so good, we're not happy. What's bothering you? This leads avera, goreret, avera. One thing leads to another. We get next week, finally we get to Shelach Lecha, where the night of Tisha B'Av, the Miraglim return. They have Bechia Ledorot. They start crying that night. They start telling how terrible it is. And finally, HaKadosh Baruch Hu makes the Gezerah. They're not entering Eretz Yisrael. Their children will enter Eretz Yisrael. They're going to die in the desert. Contrast book number 2, Vahi bin Soa Ha'aron, to book number 3, Vahi Ha'am Kemitonenim. Wow. Boy, did we make a terrible mistake. Am Yisrael. What a terrible mistake we made. What it could have been and what it was. We were Dor De'ah. We were studying Torah from Moshe Rabbeinu. Every day, the son of Harambam, Abraham ben Harambam, says, you know what it was like to study Torah from Moshe Rabbeinu? Usually when the Navi doesn't hear from Hashem directly, there's a malach in between the Navi and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So the Navi hears the malach, and the malach tells him the message of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Moshe Rabbeinu heard directly from Hashem. So the son of Harambam says something mind-boggling. He says, when you study Torah from Moshe Rabbeinu, it was like studying Torah from a malach. Can you imagine what is zechut that is? People are sitting in Ohel Moed, and they're in front of Moshe Rabbeinu, mamash like a malach, studying Torah with him. This is the Dor De'ah. We were supposed to enter Eretz Yisrael, and instead, everybody dies in the desert. And you think you know how bad things were? You still don't know till you study the Gemara in Masechet Sanhedrin. I'm going to read to you the Gemara in Masechet Sanhedrin in Perek Halek, Daf Kof Yod Amud Bet. I want to read to you this Gemara because it's shocking. It really is shocking. Because you think about Hazat, the poor people who died in the desert. You say, what a terrible, terrible gezerah. You know, they come out of Egypt. They're supposed to be in Eretz Yisrael in about a year and a half. They're supposed to be in Israel. That's it. They're supposed to be in Israel. You know, they're supposed to get their land. Everything is supposed to be great. They're all excited. They leave Mitzrayim. You know what it is like that you die in the desert? You tell, hey, I'm going to die in the desert. Who's going to visit? Who's going to visit the grave? Who's going to visit me? No, buddy. We got to go on. Every year, more people dying. Every year, more people dying. Until finally, in the 40th year, that was it. That was it. The entire generation of adults that left Mitzrayim, they all died. Who goes into Eretz Yisrael? Their children. And by the way, when they go into Eretz Yisrael, how do they go into Eretz Yisrael? Yoshua bin Nun, fantastic. But it was all wars. It was all milhamot. One milhama after another milhama. So I want to tell you how terrible the gezerah was. I'm reading to you the top of Daf Kof Yod Amud Bet in Masechet Sanhedrin. It says, Tanula Banan, Dor Hamidbar En Lahem Chelek Le'olam Haba. The generation of the desert, they have no Chelek Le'olam Haba. They have no portion in the world to come. This is a shocking statement. You say, wait, hold on. They made a terrible averah. They died in the desert. They suffered a lot. That's it. No. How do we know? How does the Gemara know? This, by the way, is the opinion of Rabbi Akiva. We're going to see later on there's a machloket. Rabbi Akiva says, how do I know? The pasuk says as follows: Bamidbar hazeh yitamu, vesham yamutu. Look at the pasuk. It says, Bamidbar hazeh, in this desert, here, yitamu. It's going to end. It's going to end. Vesham yamut, and they're going to die there. So I don't understand. They're ending here and they're dying there. It's like in Dinei Mamonot. You have Hamor Zeh and you have Hamor Hahu, right? So Hamor Zeh means you're pointing at the Hamor. This Hamor. This is a Hamor I want to buy. Hamor Zeh, right? Hamor Hahu means over there. It's not in front of us. And so also Le'inyan, a person makes a neder to the Bet HaMikdash. He says Shor or Parazu or Kivsa Zu. He points, right? So this is Bamidbar Hazeh. You're pointing. They're going to die here. So what does it mean? Vesham Yamutu. Bamidbar Hazeh Yamutu. That's talking about the physical death. Vesham Yamutu. That's talking about Olam Haba. She'en laim chelek le'olam haba. And that's what the pasuk says. Asher nishbati be'api im yevo'un el menuchati. I made a shevuah that these people will never find rest after what they did. They had everything. They just received the Torah. They saw the miracles in Mitzrayim. They saw Keri'at Yam Suf. They heard the voice of Hashem speaking. And then, instead of saying, wow, this is fantastic, Zachinu, they should be saying every day, thanking Hashem. Instead, Vahiya Am Kemitonenim. I don't even want them to rest in Olam Haba. I don't want them to get to Olam Haba. How dare they disrespect the Torah, disrespect their incredible state, disrespect the miracles, disrespect me. Disrespect me, says Hashem. This is Shitat Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Eliezer disagrees. He says, Ba'inem le'olam haba. He says, how can you say? You want to tell me they suffered in Olam Hazeh? A person suffers in Olam Hazeh. He doesn't go to Olam Haba. They go to Olam Haba. I'll bring you a pasuk, shene'emar. Isfu li hasidai, korete beriti ale zavach. Hashem is saying, I want you to bring to me the Hasidim. There's people who suffered in this world. There's people who had kaparat avonot. A person suffers in olam hazeh. It's kaparat avonot. He can become a Hasid. Ismuli Hasidai. Bring him to me. Bring him to olam haba. Which ones? Which Hasidim? Korete beriti alezavah. There's certain types of Hasidim I'm talking about. There's Hasidim that they made a berit with me. There's Hasidim that they brought a korban and they used the blood of the korban to make a berit with a Kadosh Baruch Hu. Which Hasidim are these? This is talking about Bnei Israel that stood by Har Sinai. And they made a berit at the end of Perashat, Mishpatim. It describes the korbanot they brought. And it describes the berit. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says these people, after all they suffered, dying in the desert, alone. This is a Hasidim. I want them in Olam Haba. Yes, they made a mistake in Olam Hazeh, they were punished in Olam Hazeh. Isfu li Hasidai, korete beriti alezavah. Bring them right to Olam Haba. That's Shitat Rabbi Eliezer. So there's a mahloket in the Gemara. There's a mahloket. So now you understand. You understand what happened. You understand what the 3 books of Bamidbar are. The first book, Dor De'ah. The second book, how the story should have continued. The third book, the horrible, horrible, horrible catastrophe that we, Am Yisrael, brought upon ourselves. And because of this, because of our mistakes, we eventually, the generation that left Mitzrayim, the adults died in the desert, the children continued, and they entered Eretz Yisrael. So what was the mistake? What was it that Hashem heard? We said that they were like mitonenim. Something was bothering them. There was something inside, but they weren't really saying it. What was it? And the answer is the upside down nuns. I always love reading Rabbi Abraham Sabah. Rabbi Abraham Sabah. What a great Talmid Chacham. When I used to go sometimes, Alav Hashem Arav David Shlush, what is the chut? I used to go to his knis Friday night many times. I'd visit my parents. They live in Netanya. I'd go to his knis. In his knis, he used to give the Rashot Friday nights. What kitromemut, what hitalut. There was just beauty, glorious Torah. So in his derashot, he used to quote Rabbi Abraham Sabah a lot. Rabbi Abraham Sabah was one of the great Hachamim. He was a Mekubal from Castilla. I'm talking about before the Mekubalim of Sefat. I'm talking about in the 15th century. He was in Castilla. And then 1492 he was expelled with the rest of the Jews. He went to Portugal. In Portugal, they also had the expulsion of Portugal several years later. Hazite, they kidnapped his children. They took him, they threw him into the dungeon, the Inquisition. They tortured him, I don't know how he escaped. He escaped. He has his books with him. The Rabbi Abraham Sabah has his books. I want you to understand. I'm not talking about books that he owns. I'm talking about his books that he wrote. His Hidushim in Torah. You know, for Talmid Chacham, there's nothing more precious than the Hidushim in Torah that he has. I just want you to see what happened. He couldn't leave with his books. He realized if he tries to run away and he has the books, they'll know he's Jewish, they'll know who he is, they'll understand who he is. There was an olive tree somewhere outside the city of Lisbon. He finds the olive tree, he digs a hole, he buries the books there, runs away, gets to Fez in Morocco, gets under Adrianople in Turkey. Eventually he rewrites some of the books Be'al Peh. He rewrites some of the books Be'al Peh. One of the books was Sefer Seror Hamor. What a fantastic book on Perashat HaShavua, what Chidushim. He says, you know what these nuns are? You know what these upside down nuns are? He says, the Jewish people in Har Sinai, HaKadosh Baruch Hu goes, yes, Ishmael, you want the Torah? No. Esav, you want the Torah? No. The Jewish people, what do they say? Na'aseh benishma. Of course we want the Torah. Please, tell us what, unconditionally, just tell us what the mitzvot are. We want to hear the mitzvot. We want to hear them, just tell us. We'll do it. Whatever it is. Unconditional acceptance of the Torah. How beautiful. They get to the desert, they start traveling in the desert. You know what they do with Na'aseh v'Nishma? They take the nun of Na'aseh, they take the nun of Nishma, they invert it, upside down. Has v'shalom, lo na'aseh, lo nishma. We don't want the Torah anymore. We don't want to be a chosen people. We don't want to study Torah. This is not why we left Egypt. We left Egypt so that we can be farmers, so that we can work. We want to enter the rat race of society. How lovely to be stuck. How lovely to be stuck, like the rest of the Goyim, in this endless maze of intrigues, of business, of fighting, of issues. We want that. We don't want the Torah, studying Torah in Oil Mo'ed. HaKadosh Baruch Hu understands why they're complaining. There's nothing to complain about. Right? They're mitonenim, right? HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows why they're mitonenim. Oh, it's not good, we don't like the man, we don't like the water, we don't like this. No, what you don't like is na'aseh v'nishma. Admit it. You don't want to study Torah all day. You don't want to be the chosen people. You flip the nuns. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take that text, book number 2, I'm going to put the inverted nuns there so you understand always what you did wrong. And then we're going to go to book number 3. That's what's really going to happen. You take the nuns of Naaseh, Venishma, and you have the word mitonenim. You put the 2 nuns over there, right? So instead of Naaseh Venishma, you flip them over and you have the word mitonenim. And this is what happens to the Jewish people. This is how the catastrophe takes place. This is the reason the catastrophe took place. And I said on my own, Zachiti, if we're already talking about the Naaseh V'Nishma and the nuns, you look at the Aron HaKodesh in the bracketed text in book number 2, right? What was supposed to happen but didn't. And it says the Aron HaKodesh was traveling, or was going to travel, and then the Aron HaKodesh was going to rest. So it says, Vahi bin soa ha'aron. Bin soa, ne soa, that's the operative verb, right? And then the second pasuk, what's the operative verb? Ubnucho. The Aron will be nach, right? Nesoa, nun. Keneged naaseh. Nucho, nun. Keneged nishma. Instead, mitonenim. You see how the 3 books are related to each other? You see how the 3 books, they all come together. They all come together. We have how we started in book number A as Dor De'ah, how we were supposed to continue but we didn't, and therefore it's bracketed text, and the Gemara says, this isn't the place. This isn't the place of these Pesukim. And then we jump over to book number 3. That's what really happened. So I want to ask a question. How do we flip the nuns back? How can we possibly do that? We said Naaseh v'Nishma. Hashem asked us, and we said Naaseh and we said Nishma. How can we undo the mistake? How can we go back to where we were? We want to go back to book number 2. We don't want to be stuck in book number 3, the galuyot, the persecutions, the anti-Semitism. But the truth is, in Shir HaShirim, we have a beautiful pasuk. The pasuk says, Yonati behagveh hasela, beseter hamadrega, har'ini et mar'aich, hashmi'ini et kolech, ki kolech arev u'mar'ech naveh. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is looking at the Jewish people. The Jewish people are, I think, very little of themselves. Yonati behagveh hasela, like a Yonah, a pigeon, you know, in the kotel, you know, you have sometimes the pigeons hidden in the walls, in the stones of the kotel. Beseter, seter hamadrega, hidden, you know, inside sometimes you have the stones protruding, and then you have a pigeon there, right? So Am Yisrael is like tzanua. You know, we don't think a lot of ourselves. The truth, we suffered so much over the years, right? The Goyim don't like us. Many Jews don't like us either, right? Many Jews don't like us. Goyim don't like us. What are you going to do, right? So Yonati behagveh hasela beseter hamadrega. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, what are you doing hiding over there? Har'ini et mar'aich. I want to see Am Yisrael again, like the way I saw them in the Midbar. Matovu ohalecha Yaakov mishkerotecha Yisrael, says Bilam. What a beautiful nation, right? When Am Yisrael does a mitzvot, when Am Yisrael is shomer taharat hamishpacha, when Am Yisrael is shomer Shabbat. What a beautiful nation. There's nothing more beautiful than Am Yisrael. Har'ini et mar'aich. He says, Hashmi'ini et kolech. What is Hashmi'ini et kolech? Le'aniyut da'ati. Hashmi'ini et kolech. Hakol, kol Yaakov. Am Yisrael has a special voice. What is that special voice? We receive the Torah. The Torah is Rah Sofer. He put ta'amim in the Torah. We learn how to read the Torah. You know what it means? I want to hear you reading the Torah properly. It's not just a book. You know, people think, I'm going to read the Torah and I'm going to expose it to scientific analysis and criticism and this and that. And then other people, they don't even know how to read it. They read it, they make mistakes. You're supposed to read the Torah properly, with the proper nikud. There's mil'el, there's mil'era. Perashat Pinehas ben Elazar ben Aharon HaKohenat Pinehas. Shevana, not Shevana. You have to read it properly. Right? There's ta'amim. You're supposed to read it with ta'amim. People love saying Tehillim, and what a beautiful thing, really, that people, they always turn to Tehillim. In a time of trouble, we turn to Tehillim. It's beautiful. But you got to read it with ta'amim. Ezra HaSofer put ta'amim in the Tehillim. Why do you put the ta'amim there? So we look at it? No, so we read it. Ashrei ha'ish. It's Rabbi Agadol. Rabbi Agadol. There's 3 types of Rabbi in Tehillim. Ashrei ha'ish. Asher lo halach ba'asat resha'im. We have ta'amim. It's different when you read it with ta'amim. It's a completely different reading. I remember, Alav Shalom, my teacher of ta'amim, Mickey Carey. What a Sadiq, what an anav, what an anav. So he would come into the room, the kids would be studying ta'amim. Here, people not reading so well, not middaktikim. He'd tell us, what do you think you're doing? What do you mean? So, what are you're reading a newspaper? New York Post, the sports section. This is the Torah, these are the words that Hashem spoke to Moshe Rabbeinu. You know what these words are? If there's a dagesh, you're supposed to read the dagesh. If there's a ma'amid, you read the ma'amid. If there's ta'amim, read the ta'amim properly. Oh, it's hard, I don't want to study. You gotta study the ta'amim of you have to learn how to read the Torah shebichtav. Hashmi'ini et kolech ki kolech areb. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu hears the Jewish people reading the Torah beautifully, with the beautiful nagmeh, with the beautiful ta'amim. You know, they have sometimes a guy reading in the Bet Knesset, reads beautifully. B'daykanut u'bin'ima. He reads properly and with a beautiful voice. What a hitalut. This is what the pasuk says. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu is saying, I want to see you again. I want to see you again. So what do? So I'll tell you what we do. The pasuk says in Yeshaya, and this is really the final thought for today before we start studying Gemara. The pasuk says that there's going to come a day in the future where HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to call upon us and he's going to say, Daberu alev Yerushalayim v'kir'u elea ki male'a seba'aha ki nirsa avonaha. That's it, this kaparat avonot. I'm looking, I see how much the Jewish people suffered. I see the avonot they did. And you know what? Baruch Hashem, there's no more avonot. How beautiful, there's no more avonot. You read this pasuk, I can't believe it. We're going to reach a point where there's no more ki nirsa avona. But then it says something surprising. It says ki lakecha miyad Adonai kiflaim bechol chatoteh. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave the Jewish people twice, double the kaparat avonot, double the punishment. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to look at the Jewish people and say, wait, hold on, there was a Holocaust, there was a pogroms, there was a default, alilot dam, anti-Semitism. He's going to look and say, whoa, and look at the avonot they did. They got over-punished. They got double punishment. Why double punishment? Why keep flying? Well, when we accepted the Torah, how did we accept the Torah? We accepted the Torah double. Na'aseh v'nishma. So every time Am Yisrael went against the Torah, they went against Na'aseh, they went against Nishma. So how do you reach a point of kaparat avonot? Double. But wait, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to say, that's not fair. So they got punished double. That's not fair. El emunah ve'en avil, sadiq ve'yashanu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is just. He's not going to just punish just like that. He says, don't worry. When the Geula comes, nachamu ami. It's going to be a double nechama. It's going to be a nechama that's going to be so great that this time, when we build the Bet HaMikdash, it's not going to be like the first time. We're at the end of Bet HaMikdash, Nehirav. It's not going to be like the second time when the Bet HaMikdash was destroyed. Nahamu, Nahamu, Ami. This is going to be forever. Le'olam, Ul'olmei Olamim. It's going to be the greatest Nehama ever. Double Nehama. And you want to know why double Nehama? Why Nahamu, Nahamu? You got double Kaparat Avonot. So you deserve double Nehama, but more. But more. I'm going to take the Nun that you flipped over of Naaseh. I'm going to take the Nun that you flipped over of Nishma. And I'm going to put it in the word Nahamu, Nun, Nahamu, double Nehama. Everything is forgiven. We're going to get back to the state of Naaseh, get back to the state of Nishma. There's going to be Tahiyat HaMetim. One day there's going to be Tahiyat HaMetim. We'll get back to book number 2. Moshe Rabbeinu enters Eretz Yisrael. Aharon HaKohen enters Eretz Yisrael. Miriam HaNevi'ah is there. And we'll be studying Torah in the Bet HaMikdash. Studying Torah in the Bet HaMikdash, the way we were supposed to be doing. We'll go back to that. We'll go back to that tremendous, tremendous, tremendous vision. To us, it seemed like a dream. But the pasuk in the Torah says so, Nahamu, Nahamu Ami. This is not just a dream, this is the word of Hashem. We should all be zochim to the Nehamot, to the Yeshuot of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, שנהפוך את הנון, נעשה נון ישר, a straight nun, נעשה another straight nun, נשמע, ובזכות זה we get נחמו, נחמו. Let's study the Gemara now, Masechet Shavuot.